the 1992 election to President Bush, as evidently so many people have already?
I really don't. Matter of fact, I've seen some professional polls that lead you to believe that President Reagan's support, national support, was much deeper and much stronger than President Bush's. President Bush has gotten a lot of weak support, and he could very well drop much faster than President Reagan ever dropped.
Very good. As a matter of fact, speaking of President Bush, let's talk about the military involvement in the Persian Gulf. I think that you've already indicated that you spent time in the military, and I had an opportunity not long ago to see General Wallace on your show, Capital Commentary, on Viacom Channel 36. And the two of you were talking about the success and the performance of our troops in the Persian Gulf. And let's talk about some of those things and the way he perceived and the way you perceive of what we were able to accomplish there.
Well, Dr. Haney, I think our active regular duty forces, as well as National Guard and Reserve, did an outstanding job. It was a difficult situation for all concerned. Thank God it wasn't another Vietnam. I served during the Vietnam era, even though I did not go to Vietnam. I was on orders to go to Vietnam, but my father died, so they never sent me. But I lost a lot of buddies in Vietnam, and we could have won that war, but the way we fought the war, we fought a war of containment rather than a war to win. But we didn't do that with the Persian Gulf War. We had some goals, we had some missions, and we accomplished those objectives with a very minimal loss of life. And no doubt our high-tech worked too. I think a lot of people learned some lessons. It was good to know that all the money that was spent on our military hardware did work after these years. I voted for that UN resolution that gave President Bush the authority to take military action if Saddam Hussein and Iraq did not withdraw from Kuwait by January the 15th. We were voting on the UN resolution. I remember as a student at Hillsborough High School, we had to make the decision, or we debated the issue about whether the United States should be a member of the United Nations. And here, years later, I was having to make the decision about are we or are we not going to support the United Nations.
Going through the same debate.
Yeah, because we don't want the United States to be the policeman of the world. We shouldn't be in that role. We cannot afford to be in that role. But what we need to do is to strengthen the United Nations, to enhance the United Nations in order for it to be a peacekeeping force, in order to help keep peace in the world, where we can change our priorities, where we can spend more money on people's needs and human needs.
Congressman, the final 5 or 6 minutes that we have left here, let's talk about some of your organizational activities in terms of trying to serve the 5th Congressional District. I think that when we read your newsletter, and we have an opportunity to receive newsletters quite often, etc., the thing that comes across is that you are indeed a working congressman, and that you're doing some extraordinary things in terms of trying to reach various segments of the population. You've established offices where offices have never been before, and those kinds of things. Let's talk about that over these last few minutes that we have.
Well, I guess I did something that no other congressman had ever done when I established a congressional office in North Nashville, because I made the comment during the campaign and since the campaign that I want all of Nashville, all parts of Nashville, to be a full partner in the economic growth and development of the greater Nashville area. And I really don't feel like North Nashville has fulfilled that dream. And I think there's much still can be done in North Nashville. So I placed a congressional office in North Nashville because I wanted to send a message to the entire community that it's time for North Nashville to be a full partner in the economic growth and development of the greater Nashville area. We've had artificial barriers when it comes to the interstate, to the railroad track, to lack of access roads into North Nashville, lack of housing, lack of development, and there's just too many opportunities for us to overlook North Nashville, and that's one thing I'm going to be talking to Mayor Bredesen about giving some real attention to North Nashville in order for it to be a full partner.
Very good. And of course, you've also created similar kinds of offices in other parts of the district, have you not? Why don't you talk about those
North Nashville, but I have my main office there at the Federal Courthouse building, and then I have just one other office, and that's in Robertson County, which is Springfield. I have only 2 counties. All of the congressmen in Tennessee, there are 9 of us. In the U.S. House of Representatives, all of us represent comparably the same number of people, which is around 550,000 people. But I have those 550,000 in 2 counties, Davidson County, Robertson County, where another congressman has 23 counties, but he still has the same number of people.
Very good. Before we end for today, Congressman, are there any issues that we've not touched upon that you feel that your constituents or perhaps the general public might become familiar with through something that we might say here today? Because we've got about 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, one other that we voted on right before the recess, and I hope President Bush will take positive action, and this has to do with unemployment compensation, because much of that has been exhausted by many people because of the softness of the economy and not finding another job or opportunity to pursue. And we've given President Bush the authority to extend those unemployment benefits, and all he has to do is extend them. He has that authority, he has that money, but he hadn't done that yet. And I'm hoping he will do that in September. And I assure you Congress will put some pressure on and apply some more pressure to try to get him to move in that direction, because he needs to do that, because too many of our people are hurting today. We mentioned a while ago about a national energy policy. That's surely what we're working on now. We're working on the highway bill. We're working on a budget for this coming year for 1992, because our new budget, when it relates to our congressional budget and the U.S. budget, the new year begins or commences 1st of October.
Very good. And Congressman, let me